Mr. Rosas, tell me about this vehicle. You were out shopping for a truck?
Yeah.
Tell me the circumstances around your purchase.
I was looking for a car for probably a couple weeks already. I was taking a mechanic with me at the time, but this day he couldn't make it, so he did let me borrow his scanner, which I hooked up. Nothing came up.
Nothing came up.
Which was a good sign for me, one of the reasons why I bought the vehicle.
Even though you noticed that when the defendant started the vehicle,
that the engine shook. The engine shook, yeah, and from what I've been seeing with my mechanic, he says that when the engine shakes a little bit, it could be motor mounts, which is not a very expensive part.
Okay.
It's not something that's too crazy that you would stop buying a vehicle for.
This is the truck, correct?
Yes. And on, I think page 4, it says the description.
So it says here, the Mazda version of the Ford Ranger has brand new tires and wheels. Everything works as it should. Passes smog with no problem. A manual 5-speed with no pop-outs, no grinding. I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds good, right?
Yeah, the transmission. He's saying the transmission
is very
good.
healthy.
Yeah, he's saying the transmission and the motor are very healthy.
You noticed that the engine shook when you drove the vehicle.
So I haven't drove a stick in a while. So, you know, sometimes when you get back in there, it kind of like takes you a while to get it to shift, you know, to get a hold of the vehicle.
Okay.
So I just kind of maybe thought it was something like that because there wasn't nothing crazy.
And you felt that the truck was sluggish.
Yeah, I felt that the truck was sluggish, and I counted that to maybe it needed a tune-up.
All of these little issues weren't that big of a deal. At least they weren't deal breakers for you.
It wasn't a deal breaker at the time.
But it was a way for you to negotiate the price down.
Yes.
So you are driving it home, and you hear the car making a sound that you clearly didn't hear when you were test driving. Is that right? And then you drove it to a mechanic?
Yeah, I went to the mechanic. He checked it out. He just, you know, did the regular kind of check. He said that probably gonna need new brakes, probably gonna need a new suspension. And then he said that that noise could be like a rough idle. But he said that in order to figure out exactly what it was, he would have to start working on the truck.
So this was at the point where you felt, okay, this may be too many issues for me.
Yeah.
Because you then called the defendant.
Yeah, I did call, and I attempted to see if he would be willing to give me my money back, unwind the deal, basically. And
well,
he
in
said
this
no.
call, did you tell him that he misled you?
I don't think I said that he misled me in the call.
Okay.
No. I was just trying to be cordial and see if he would be willing to do it. He was willing to give me $300 back because he said he felt bad because he didn't know about some of the things.
Okay, so in your complaint, you talked about how you drove the vehicle to your mechanic. The mechanic said the truck had worn suspension, bad brakes. You called Dominic that evening and told him what the mechanic said. You say, then I asked for my money back. Dominic refused because he said he had never experienced any of those issues. I told Dominic that he had misled us.
I felt like he misled us after I found the invoices in the truck.
Okay, but that was later.
No, yeah, that was later.
Okay.
I still thought he was, you know, a good guy.
Okay.
Because he gave me the $300 back.
So you don't think he's done anything wrong intentionally, that is, at that point? All right. Mr. Gonzalez, is everything sounding pretty accurate so far?
So far, so good. But when he actually went to inspect the vehicle, he looked at the suspension. He actually jumped on top of the vehicle to test it out, make sure it wasn't worn out. So he was well aware. And I had prior advised him saying that it was going to need an alignment because I had just put new wheels and tires on it.
That's an interesting point you make there, because I believe in your complaint, Mr. Rosas, you did say that you asked about when the vehicle was serviced. Had it been serviced recently? Yeah. And you say that Mr. Gonzalez said no.
No, he said he had not done a lot of work on the vehicle. He only had it for a couple of months.
And you say you told him about services being done and that there was an alignment service that the mechanic had recommended, but you declined that because you were selling the vehicle.
Exactly.
So he returns the $300.
Right.
And then you go to the DMV and get the title in your name. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So you're keeping the car at this point?
Well, yeah, because he had denied to give me my money back, so I was just gonna keep the truck.
How long after that were you driving the car and the rattling sound came back, or it got worse?
Well, beforehand, I just wanted to make it clear that he said that he did some research on his own, and he thought maybe the rough idle was this part that cost about $20 on Amazon. And then I said, thanks, I'll look into it. And then
so he's helping you, even though he's like, listen, this is as-is sell. I'm not giving you your money back, but I'm gonna give you $300. And on top of that, he's trying to help you figure out what this issue could be.
At that point.
At that point, okay.
I thought he was trying to help me.